One of the coolest abilities on the piano that everybody wants to learn is the ability to play chords easily. If you think about great piano players, they just make it look effortless, right? They can just lay their hands anywhere on the piano keyboard and their hands are totally relaxed and they're just able to feel all these shapes. It almost looks like they're drawing these sounds out of the piano. And the question is, how do we learn to do that? If you're starting from the experience of a beginner, and you're counting half steps and whole steps and trying to picture scale fragments and figure out how to get your fingers to work together, it's not at all obvious how this is going to lead to that desired state, that ability that we want. But there's a key to it that we're going to start working on today. And the key is that everything in harmony is modular. Everything is built up from very basic building blocks that keep appearing over and over again. Major triads, minor triads, intervals like the major third and the minor third. All these exotic chord voicings, all these possibilities that we have in music are built from these little units. And so the key is to teach your hand to automatically feel those basic units of distance. What does the major triad feel like? What does the minor triad feel like? That needs to become automatic. It needs to become like a single gesture. So you're not thinking, okay, the root is here, and then the third must be over there, and so that must be the fifth up there. But what happens is that the hand just knows that shape. It knows what it feels like. And so today, we're going to begin a whole series of exercises that are going to give you this ability. And it all starts with one of the most classic piano exercises we have, which is the 5-finger drill. But we're going to put an IFR spin on it so that it's not just a physical exercise, but you'll get double value for the exercise from the exercise, and you'll be learning about harmony and visualization, where you are on the tonal map, and you'll be learning about the 7 harmonic environments as we do the exercise. So to show you the exercise, I'm going to demonstrate it first in the key of C, because I think it's the easiest place for you to see exactly what I'm doing. And I'll start with my right hand. We're going to use our closed fingering, where you have one finger for each degree of the major scale. And we're just going to walk up and down the first 5 notes of the scale like this. In the left hand, the fingering is inverted, but it's the same idea. Combine the 2 hands together. And if this is the first time you've ever done this, it might take some getting used to because you're using different fingers on 2 different hands, but just spend some time with it. You'll find it's very easy. You can make that very automatic, and your hands will learn how to manage that for you. And we're just going to walk up and down through the first 5 notes of the major scale together now. Then what we're going to do is we're going to move the whole system up to the 2nd harmonic environment. We're going to use note 2 as the tonal center, and we're going to practice the same exercise, and this time we're studying the notes 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Then we'll do it again. We'll move up to note 3. Now we're studying notes 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Then 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. Then 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, the key of C is the easiest place to see exactly what I'm doing, but it's the least interesting place to practice the exercise, right? Because moving up to the next harmonic environment or the next note as a tonal center really just involves moving your hands like 1 centimeter to the right, but there's nothing else going on. Where it becomes interesting is when we do this in other keys, because then you have a mix of black keys and white keys, and so as you cycle through the 7 different harmonic environments, you really do have a bunch of stuff shifting around. So let's go through that. I'm going to demonstrate this now in the key of A. We'll go through all keys in our practicing. I'm just going to start on A because it corresponds to my voice a little more. And what I wanted to suggest to you is that you sing the tonal numbers out loud at least some of the time while you're practicing the exercise. I know it's also a lot of fun to play the piano without singing, and I don't want to take that enjoyment away from you. But at least some of the time, I encourage you to sing the tonal numbers out loud, or say them out loud, or at least make sure you're thinking very, very clearly about them while you're playing. because in the future, you're going to want to project very specific tonal concepts anywhere on the piano keyboard. Like you're going to want to be able to play the 2 chord, which is made up of that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You're going to have to be able to picture that little fragment of the major scale anywhere you want. And the only way you're going to have that ability to instantly play a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is if all those hours that you spent playing 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you were aware that that's what you were doing. In other words, it's very easy to convert all of this into just kind of an empty scale drawing. You're seeing the major scale and then you kind of cycle through it. But all the value is in paying attention to what you're doing as you're doing it. So while you're playing that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you're thinking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's what's teaching you what 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 looks like in any key on your piano. And so that's why it's so important to sing these tonal numbers out loud as you're practicing, or at least be thinking about them very clearly. So we'll start in the key of A now, and I'll first review, I guess, the major scale in case you have any doubts about how we build this. It's just a tonal map concept. If this is our 1, then I need a whole step to 2, another whole step to 3. Now it's just a half step to 4, whole step to 5, whole step to 6, another whole step to 7, one final half step takes me to 1. So these are the notes. And then what we need to do is lay our 5 fingers on the first 5 notes of this scale. And we'll start walking through it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now notice that when you lay your fingers on these keys, notice the shape. Like there's an actual geometric shape here that you can appreciate. It starts low, then it goes up there for that note 3, which is a black key, and then it comes down again. We don't have to have any big fancy theory about that. I just want you to notice it. That's what 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 looks like in the key of A. Now we'll move up to note 2. 2, 3, 4, 5. And the first time you're doing these exercises, you might have to pause here and think, well, where is that note 6 I need? I have my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but now I'm doing 2, 3, 4, 5, and then, okay, I need a whole step, so 6 must be here. And so in the beginning, you'll lose a little bit of time just trying to figure out how to build the exercise and what notes we're talking about. But that time is going to very quickly go away and you'll be able to just picture these things automatically. Then we'll move up to note 3. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. 5, 6, 7, 1, 2. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. Notice I've got my fingers way up high in the key bed here, right? I'm not down here at the tips of the keys, because for these black keys, I need to be up here. And so I'm just going to stay up here when I'm playing the white keys as well. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 7, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you can see I'm able to get through the entire exercise starting from all 7 notes of the major scale in about a minute. And so, by extension, if we imagine doing this in all 12 keys, that's only 12 minutes. Now, in the beginning, it'll probably take you longer than that because you might have to spend some time just visualizing the major scale and clarifying where the notes are. But soon you'll get it down to that 12 minutes where you can just go through it in a very relaxed way and review all 12 keys, studying the first 5 notes of all 7 harmonic environments in this way. And so that's the exercise. I encourage you to practice, 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 because next time I'm going to show you how you can break these things apart and move them around more easily. And like I say, we're working very quickly towards a very awesome ability to play chords very naturally and effortlessly on the piano keyboard. And so this is a super exciting thing to develop. And I encourage you to take a lot of time, being very relaxed, and just enjoy your 5-finger drills, going through all 7 harmonic environments in all 12 keys.